You're looking at the chest wall for any movement, and then you're listening for breath sounds, and then you feel for the carotid pulse, which is just below the jaw. Hi there, welcome to Health Circumference YouTube channel. I am Ife Obomobot, and I'm super delighted to welcome you to this year's Nurses Week celebration with the theme, Our Nurses, Our Future. Special shout out to all the professional nurses in the world. I want to let you know that your service towards humanity do not go unappreciated, neither are they unnoticed. Please keep the flag flying really high, for you are indeed the future of the healthcare system. I also want to thank the sponsor of this year's edition, NJO. NJO is an online media platform that provides information and shares relevant opportunities for professional nurses all over the world. You could connect with them through their various social media handles with the link posted in the caption of this video. And so for today's episode of the Health Awareness Creation Program organized by the Health Circumference YouTube channel, I'll be taking us on cardiopulmonary resuscitation. So please like this video, subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and most importantly, please share this video with your friends and families. Thank you so much. Now let's get. First of all, what is cardiopulmonary resuscitation? Cardiopulmonary resuscitation is an emergency procedure that is performed when someone has suddenly stopped breathing or the heart has stopped pumping blood. And this procedure combines mouth-to-mouth breathing and chest compression that helps to circulate blood from the heart to various organs of the body until specialized treatment is available or until the heart begins to function independently. When is cardiopulmonary resuscitation necessary? Cardiopulmonary resuscitation is necessary in cases where someone has suddenly stopped breathing or the person is only able to take occasional gasping breath, cases where the heart has stopped beating, meaning the peripheral pulses are absent, and cases of sudden collapse and unresponsiveness. And these instances could easily be seen in road traffic accident cases, cardiac arrest, near drowning, electrocution, sudden collapse, to mention a few. Why is CPR necessary and how does it work? The heart is responsible for pumping oxygenated blood to various vital organs of the body, and so in cases where the heart has suddenly stopped working, that function is impaired and these organs can barely survive without oxygen. The brain, for instance, can only survive for about 4 minutes without oxygen. So once it exceeds this period, what happens is the brain cells begin to die. And like we know, the brain cells, unlike every other cells of the body, the brain cells lack regenerative capacity. And so that is why it is very important that CPR is initiated immediately to reduce the likelihood of the individual having permanent brain damage and to even increase survival rate. Research has shown that for every 1% every 1 minute delay in initiating CPR, chances of survival is reduced by 10%. And so once someone collapses and suddenly stops breathing, the first thing on our mind should be ensuring the safety of the individual, of course, and then initiating CPR and then calling for medical attention. And so how does it work? The chest compressions in particular helps to temporarily take up the role of the heart by pumping blood, by circulating blood to these various organs until the heart is able to pick up its role independently or until emergency medical attention arrives. How soon should CPR be initiated? CPR should be initiated immediately. Immediately when the incident occurs. The next thing should be CPR. No time to waste, because like I said, for every minute delay, chances of survival is reduced by 10%. Who is allowed to perform CPR? Any trained person at all is allowed to perform CPR. Some years back when I worked in the accident and emergency unit, I realized that most victims of cardiac arrest would have had better prognosis if the people who were present when the incident occurred were able to resuscitate the person. Okay, so that is why it is important we all have basic knowledge of CPR. When should we not perform CPR? It is important that at all times we take into consideration our personal safety. And so whenever the environment feels unsafe, it's best to avoid that area. For instance, in cases of electrocution and road traffic accident cases whereby the victim is in the middle of the road, to avoid being hit by a car while trying to perform CPR, it's best to take the person to a safer spot. And also when your instinct tells you something does not seem right, because lately we've had criminals disguised as being unresponsive and unconscious, so that when someone gets close to them, the person ends up being robbed. And in cases whereby the victim of an emergency is still breathing, you just have to stay with the person and quickly call for emergency medical attention. And most importantly, if the person has a do not attempt resuscitation order, in such an instance you don't have to attempt CPR. So now, how should CPR be performed? Trust me, this session would have been more appreciated if it were practical, but for the purpose of this topic, I'll try my best to explain. Meanwhile, Health Circumference YouTube channel has promised to upload a detailed video on how CPR should be performed. So in any case of an emergency where someone has suddenly stopped breathing and is unresponsive, the first thing should be assessing the environment to ensure that the environment is safe for the victim and safe for you as well. Now get someone to call for emergency medical attention, and while you're waiting for the medical team to arrive, get the person to lie on his or her back in a prone position, okay, on a flat surface. Now quickly assess the victim, ensure that there are no tight clothing around the neck, ensure that the airway is clear. You call on the person's name, no response. You quickly look, listen and feel, and this should only last for about 5 to 7 seconds. You're looking at the chest wall for any movement, and then you're listening for breath sounds, and then you feel for the carotid pulse, which is just below the jaw. Okay, so if the pulse cannot be felt, and if there are no breath sounds and the chest wall is not moving as well, it's advised that you begin CPR immediately. So assume a comfortable position, preferably kneeling beside the person. Okay, now with the heel of one palm, place the palm of the other hand on top and have your fingers interlocked. Now ensure that both hands are straightened and the elbows are locked. Locate the center of the chest and give about 100 to 120 compressions per minute. The compression should just be about 5 to 6 centimeters deep, and after every 30 compressions, someone else at the spot could give 2 rescue breaths. So repeat the process, 30 compressions to 2 rescue breaths. And it is important to note that after one compression, allow time for the chest wall to recoil before the next compression. And so repeat the cycle, 30 chest compressions to 2 rescue breaths until the medical team arrives, or until the heart is able to function independently. And when one person is exhausted, another person takes up the role, and that process is continued until the medical team arrived. And so that is how to perform CPR in summary. Thank you so much for staying with me. I'm Ifeobong, and it's been a pleasure taking you on this. Until I see you some other time, please remember to subscribe to this channel and keep your notification bells on for when we post another video. Until I see you again, bye.